People, it is people, it is I, Reaper X, and this will be what if Deku ate the magu no mi, a Kainu's devil fruit. Sorry for not posting for a long time. Anyways, thank you all for 89 subscribers. We're almost at 100. Just one more and we're at 90, and then we'll be 10 subs away from 100. And that's where the One Piece game giveaway is gonna happen. So yeah. Anyways, I'm grateful for that. So just let's get started. So, Izuku, he is just sleeping, and he wakes up. He is a very chill person. So he just wakes up, remembers that he has to check his quirk today, and when he finishes, changing himself to casual clothing, he knocks on his mother's door and just says, "Hey, Mom, today we have to check my quirk. Could you take me there?" And then his mother wakes up, and unlike him, she's excited for her son to get a quirk, so she just stands up quickly and tells Izuku to give her a minute. After that, when she finishes changing, they eat breakfast and they directly go to the car. After some time, they arrive at the quirk doctor, and Izuku, they go to the quirk doctor. The doctor welcomes them. The doctor basically asks Izuku to lend him his hand so that he could take some blood for the test. Izuku agrees. He doesn't flinch at all because really tough boy, you know. Doctor pretty surprised, but yeah, nothing really interesting happening. After that, the doctor comes up with the results. He just isn't disappointed, but he's sad for Izuku. But okay, let's just skip to when he tells the news. Okay, so the doctor walks back with a sad expression on his face. Inko looks at him worriedly, but Izuku just doesn't care at all. Basically the queer doctor says, well, Miss Inko, I am sad to say that your son, he's quirkless. Inko is just crying and shocked. Izuku just doesn't care, and he kind of feels sad because his mother's crying and all, but he doesn't really care, honestly. He just looks at the quirk doctor and nods. He basically says, well, doctor, thank you for your time, and yeah. Basically, after that, Izuku just goes to comfort his mother, and they go back to the house. Izuku repeatedly says to his mother that it's not her fault that he's quirkless, that he'll become a hero for her. And yes, he did ask her if he could become a hero without a quirk, and she obviously said yes, like the good mother she is. And Izuku just says that he'll be a hero for her, and he'll do his best, even though he doesn't have a quirk. So, we go to Izuku. When the weekend ends, school restarts. He goes to school, obviously, and he sees that Bakugou got a nice quirk, nice and flashy, you know. And Izuku basically asks what his quirk is. Bakugou basically says, "Hey, Izuku, my quirk is explosions. I can make explosions from my sweat." Izuku is honestly pretty impressed from that, and yeah. Bakugou asks Izuku what his quirk is, and Izuku just responds with, "I'm quirkless, Bakugou. I'm quirkless." Izuku is just preparing for the worst, even though he doesn't care. He just, honestly, his heart would kind of break if he would just lost his childhood friend over being quirkless. But the answer he got pretty much shocked him, and Bakugou just bro hugged him and just says, "Hey Zuko, it's fine if you don't have a quirk. I'll always be there for you." Izuku smiles and he just bro hugs Bakugou back. He's honestly pretty happy that his friend didn't betray him because he was quirkless. That gave him even more motivation to train, you know? So, we're gonna time skip till the last day of middle school. During this time, Izuku has been harshly training. Like, really, really harshly training. Basically, like, he's mad strong. He's mad strong. Like, a kind level. No. I won't make it like that. Yeah, how about that? Yeah. He's has a Kainu type physical strength. And he also learned hockey. He has advanced armament, advanced observation, and advanced conquerors. Yeah. Now he has normal. Okay, I'll do like that. Normal armament, advanced observation, and advanced conquerors. But his hockey is extremely strong, even though it's not advanced. And also during the meantime, Izuku found and ate the magu no Mi, and he basically knows every single one of the powers due to the, you know how devil fruit works, like you get the memories passed down to you, and that's also how you learned hockey. So yeah. Also, Izuku's mag, he learned to control his magma. So basically, like, he can send magma at you. Like, you won't burn and all, but you'll get, like, you know how Marco, like, he doesn't burn his opponent. He just hits him with just blunt force. Yeah, Izuku can do that too, so that he doesn't murk villains. You know, trying to make him reasonable. You know. And if you're asking how he got conquers hockey, just the will to become a hero for his mother is just big, okay? Yeah. So, anyways, it's the last of middle school, and he has hidden his powers, except the hockey. Yeah, he showed hockey to people, but his magma powers, he wanted to keep a low profile, you know. So, yes, last of middle school. Teacher comes in. Bakugou and Izuku are discussing, and Izuku has been training with Bakugou. Not always, but he just gives him tips on how to use his explosions and just tells him to remain calm because that's his weakness. Yep. So, teacher comes in. He basically reads the class and says, "Well, class, today's the last day of middle school. And today we're supposed to fill out these application forms to see what you want to be in the future." The class groans, except Bakugou and Izuku, because they just don't care at all. But then the teacher says, "But I know y'all want to become heroes." And he then throws the papers in the air. The class cheers, except Bakugou and Izuku. So, yeah. Then the teacher tells him to calm down, obviously, and he announces the two people who are going to UA. He says, "Well, looks like we got two people going to UA." The classmates murmur, amongst each others. Then the teachers tell them to settle down again. And the teacher says, well, we got first Katsuki Bakugou. You got good grades, and your attitude has been fixed slowly, somehow. And you've got good grades. Hopefully you pass. The class already knew that, of course, Bakugou, he would definitely sign up for UA. And next, teacher says, well, Izuku Midoriya, you're the other person that wants to go to UA. You are extremely strong. Even with just pure strength, so. And also, you're really, really smart. Hope you make it to UA. The class just doesn't, the class doesn't laugh or anything, because they don't want to mess with Izuku at all, bro. Like I said, he showed his hockey to everyone and his strength, He destroyed a tree in front of him, So, they don't want to mess with him. Anyways, after that, the bell rings and they all go to school. Out of school. Izuku and Katsuki just walk separate ways. Of course, Izuku encounters the Sludge villain like before. Sludge villain basically, he's like, hey kid, give me your body. I didn't know the freak was in town. Izuku just looks at the Sludge villain uninterested. And since he wanted the Sludge villain, to learn his lesson, he basically turned his right hand into magma. And steam came emitting from his body as he showed his magma fist, his huge magma fist, to the Sludge villain. The Sludge villain was melting and also just so scared because of what he was witnessing. Then the flames died down and they became less hot, but Izuku still wanted the Sludge villain to feel pain, so of course he didn't put the temperature too low, He then shouted, Magma Fist! And slammed his hand forward, which sent a magma fist made of magma towards the Sludge villain, spinning at incredible speeds, and then he went through the Sludge villain, leading it to explode. He retracted the magma that he had thrown, and the flames died down completely. He just took a bottle that he just found on the ground, and put the Sludge villain in it. And then All Might appeared, and he said, ha ha ha, do not fear, because I'm here. Izuku just looked at him, surprised, but he's not really a fanboy, but he was happy because his mother was kind of a fan, So he really wanted to get an autograph for her. He looked at All Might and said, hey, All Might, would you mind signing this paper for me? It's for my mother. He's a big fan of you. All Might then said, yes, kid. But before that, would you mind telling me where the Sludge villain is? I've been chasing him around for quite a while. Izuku just then looks at him and just looks at his sign and he says, oh, you mean this one? Oh yeah, well, I took care of him. You can have him and throw him in jail. Izuku tosses the bottle to All Might, which he's pretty surprised, but he just doesn't want to discuss about it, So All Might signs Izuku's notebook, and then he just jumps away. Izuku goes home happy, knowing that he'll surprise his mother with an All Might autograph. Yep. Anyways, when Izuku's walking, he hears very familiar explosions. He then uses his observation hockey to see who it is, and to his surprise, it's Bakugou. He then looks further with his observation haki and sees that it is the same sludge villains that he put fear into that is killing his friend. Izuku is pretty enraged, but of course he calms down because he knows that if he rages, it won't do any better. So, Izuku turns his feet, both his feet, into magma. Of course, he lowers the temperature. He then boosts himself by launching magma with his feet and lands right before the sludge villain. The heroes, and yes, he disabled the magma before. So the heroes just don't know how a kid randomly appeared. And he's still wearing his school uniform, mind you. So, then Izuku, the heroes, just are screaming at Izuku that he should get back and all. But Izuku is just looking at the sludge villain, who is sweating. And the sludge villain says, hey kid, we can talk about this, right? And the heroes are surprised that the sludge villain is scared of a little kid. And then Izuku says, villain, if you let my friend go right now, I'll make it painless for you, okay? The sludge villain then nods and he just releases Bakugou. Izuku coats his arm in armament haki, turning it black, which surprises a lot of people. And then they see green sparkles coming out of it. Green and black sparkles. And then Izuku just suddenly disappears and goes in front of the sludge villain. And he then punches the sludge villain upwards, changing the weather just like All Might did, making a lot of lightning strike down. A lot of lightning strike the sludge villain at the same time. But he was already knocked out, so he didn't really let out screams of pain, but it still shocked all the people watching, including the heroes, and even All Might. Like, what were those green sparkles? Because they seem very familiar to One for All. But he definitely knew that the kid couldn't have One for All. It's impossible. But he was just interested in making that kid his successor. Anyways, after that, Izuku just asked a random person in the crowd if they could give him a water bottle or just a bottle of anything. And a random man just walked up and gave him an empty soda bottle. Izuku then used that water bottle to collect the sludge villain to give it to the heroes. And the heroes were mad at Izuku, but not really mad, but they wanted to arrest him for illegally using his quirk. And then Izuku said, well, heroes, as you can see, if I didn't use my quirk, this person here would have died. You see, the law also says that if you can actually help someone, you do so, else you get some jail time too. The heroes, who somehow didn't know that, just sigh and they just tell Izuku to get out of here. And after that, Izuku goes and basically not comforts, but helps Bakugou up. And Bakugou, is pretty shocked by the display Izuku just made, so they walk together and all. Nah, never mind, they don't walk together, my bad. Bakugou, asked Izuku questions, and Izuku answers them, like how he became so strong and all that. And he also thanks Izuku for helping him. To which Izuku smiles, obviously. Okay, after that, Izuku goes the same path he went in canon, and then All Might appears and says, "Ha ha ha! I am here." Izuku looks and sees All Might, and no, he's not shocked. He's just surprised that he saw All Might again for the second time of the day. So he asks All Might what he's doing here, but before he could finish his sentence, All Might coughed up blood, and he transformed into Small Might. All Might, well, not All Might, sorry. Izuku was shocked. Like he didn't expect this. Like it was like weird to him because he always known All Might as a buff man with a lot of strength. But seeing All Might in this state, he was not weirded out, but just, like I said, surprised. He then asked All Might, All Might, what happened to you? What kind of quirk do you have? And what happened to that buff form of yours? All Might just asks Izuku, basically explains to Izuku, how he got his injury and all. And he also tells Izuku about One for All and All for One. Izuku, who is already faster than One for All at 100% and stronger than One for All at 100%, is just like, All Might, I'm gonna decline this offer from you. But I got a successor I could recommend to you. He's my friend. His name is Katsuki Bakugou. He's the kid from the Sludge villain attack. He has quite good control over his quirk because I helped him because we were trained together. And also, he had some anger issues before, but I fixed them for him. I honestly think he could become a better successor for One for All. All Might then understands what Izuku says. So yeah. Izuku. Oh yeah. Oh, I got an idea. So, anyways, sorry for that. All Might not understands what Izuku says, and basically tells Izuku that if he wants to, he can train with him. And Izuku agrees, even though he's super strong. And he asked All Might if Bakugou could come, and All Might obviously said yes. So that, yeah. So the same day, Izuku goes back home and gives the All Might autograph to Inko. And Inko, she's still fit. She's not fat, because Izuku was never sad. So, no depression and all. So basically, he shows his mother an autograph of All Might, and she's super excited and she hugs Izuku, and Izuku hugs her back, and yeah, she's happy. Izuku's happy. So Izuku wakes up the next day and he goes to Bakugou's house. He knocks on the door, and basically Mitsuki answers the door and says, "Oh, Izuku, what are you doing here?" And Izuku basically says, "Oh, hello, Auntie. Would you mind calling Bakugou or Katsuki over here?" And Mitsuki just nods and shouts, "Katsuki, get down here!" And Katsuki basically swings back, "Okay, Mom, I'm coming!" And yeah, basically Katsuki changes and comes back downstairs, and he sees Izuku, and he's like, "Oh, Izuku, what are you doing here?" Izuku then basically says, Training. Yeah, just training. And Izuku basically, signaled Bakugou that it was something important, which Mitsuki just didn't know because she doesn't know the bro code. Bakugou understands and basically says, well, Mom, I gotta go with Izuku, so bye, I love you. And Mitsuki just says, okay then, Katsuki, can go. Just don't stay up too late, okay? Katsuki nods. And they go to Dagobah Beach. Izuku basically tells Bakugou to not freak out when he sees who it is, and Bakugou just nods in understanding. When they arrive at the beach, they see that, well, All Might is standing there on a fridge, just waiting for them, and he says, "Haha, young Midoriya and young Bakugou, you're all finally here." And yes, he got their name yesterday when he was talking to Izuku. So Bakugou is shocked, but like mad shocked, but he remains calm somehow. But like every fan would do, he just goes up to All Might and says, "All Might, can you please sign this for me?" And All Might basically says, "Sure, young Bakugou." And he signs, obviously, Katsuki's paper. So after giving a signature, Izuku basically says, "Katsuki, All Might here has something." No, basically, Izuku explains one for all and all for one in how he wants Katsuki to become All Might's successor, and how he declined the power because he just felt like Katsuki would be a better successor. And Katsuki basically not sad, but no, he has mixed emotions about Izuku declining said power. And but he just accepts being the successor of One for All. Izuku basically tells Alma that it's better to give him One for All, to give Bakugou One for All right now, because it just would be a better thing to do, since his body's already fit. All Might agrees because he trusts Izuku. So yeah. So after All Might gives One for All to Bakugou. Bakugou, he feels a surge of power and all. But like I said, remember, bro, he's not an angry dog no more. He's chill. So he doesn't boast about it, Just tells them that he feels powerful. And that is after waiting, of course, 1 hour for One for All to come to his body. So, Izuku basically told Katsuki to see how far he can go with One for All. And Katsuki, being actually quite smart, spreads One for All through his body, and he's able to use up to 25%. After that, he just cannot no more. And Izuku looks at All Might, and All Might is pretty impressed because he just impressed that somebody who didn't even train 1 month with him or could already master 25% of One for All. So yeah. Anyways, after that, they begin training. Izuku didn't really learn much because of how strong he was already. because how strong he was already. But Katsuki, he went up to mastering 65% of one for all during the 10 months of training, which is a whole lot, honestly. His explosion became bigger, and Izuku also showed him his magma powers, which surprised Bakugou, but Izuku just told him that he just didn't really need to use the magma powers up until now, but he didn't really want to hide secrets from his friends. So he just showed him. And he also showed All Might. So he helped Bakugou with his explosions. And his explosions have more explosive power. And, he can just control them just like how Ace control his flames, Basically, his explosion looks like fire, but they're not fire. Like, okay. Like, he can do an explosive fist or whatever. Yeah. And since Izuku, was really, Katsuki was his best friend, and also he felt like teaching him hockey. He only teach him observation hockey because he didn't feel that Katsuki really needed armament, because he's not the type to fight with his hands. Well, he knows hand-to-hand combat, but he doesn't really uses the squirt with it. So yeah. Katsuki's observation is now advanced, so he has future sight, and he can locate enemies from far away, just like how Usopp does. And yeah. So yeah, that's all. Izuku. Okay, so after the 10 months of training, Izuku wanted to be with All Might alone, and you're gonna find out why. So basically, Izuku said, "Hello, All Might. Today I'm here to heal your injuries." And this left All Might shook, and he says, "Young Midoriya, your quirk is magma. How is that supposed to heal me?" Izuku said, "Well, Conqueror's Haki? Certain Conqueror's Haki have different abilities. And I have my Conqueror ability is to be able to heal people if I want to, only if I want to. Else it can just be used to intimidate. And yes, guys, his Conqueror's Haki, you know how Luffy, I don't know if I heard that Luffy's Conqueror's Haki attracts allies. And Usopp's observation haki is like to detect souls from a distance, which is how he got sugar. So I just wanted to make him be able to heal people due to how explosive his devil fruit is. So yeah. And basically he projected his Conqueror's Haki, which was green. And it basically healed All Might. And pretty fast at that, in like a minute. All Might felt his organs, coming back. And he went in his buff form. And he basically couldn't feel the strain of using one for all, Basically, he can use his buff form anytime. Like, he doesn't have a limit anymore. All Might then thanks young Midoriya, Izuku, a lot, which then Izuku just tells him to chill. That he did what he did because that he wants to become a hero, and helping others is part of that. And also because I know All Might trained Bakugou, his best friend, so yeah, just a little bit because of that. So anyways, after that, yeah, All Might and Izuku come out and yeah, they go on with their day, okay? All Might does more hero work, and yeah, crime rate goes down. So anyways, after that day, we're gonna go to the UA entrance exam, which is the next day. Izuku and Katsuki are just walking together to the entrance exams. And they're talking, and then they reach UA, which they both in their heads, no, they just both say that they finally made it to the dream school, and together. They walk into the school, and they find the opposite, well, what is it called? Just the room where people do the exam, okay? President Mike obviously explains what happens. He explains the written exams, and basically they start doing it. Izuku and Katsuki, due to them being smart, just finish in 10 minutes, both of them at the same time. They go to President Mike and tells them that they finished the exam, and that they also corrected the mistakes that were on the exam. President Mike was pretty shocked that first kids finished the exam in only 10 minutes, and they found the secret part of the exam. So, yeah, basically, called Nezu and told him about the two boys. To which Nezu was pretty impressed. Well, really impressed. So yeah. After the rest of the people, no, after the written exam ended, President Mike started to explain the robots, until obviously he was interrupted by a certain blue-haired boy named Tenny Ida. He stood up confidently and said, "Well, sir, you forgot to mention the zero pointer. This is a really what? This is a big mistake. I'm disappointed in a high tier school like that, like UA, to make a mistake like that. I'm sorry about that. Just you might want to forget about that." So President Mike just sighs, and Izuku just uses his Conqueror's Haki on Ida while looking at him, just telling Ida to basically sit down, and Ida just apologizes to President Mike and just sits down. President Mike has no idea of what's going on because the Conqueror's Haki was only directed to Ida, so they don't know what's going on right now. Anyways, after what happened, President Mike continued explaining his zero pointer and the physical exam. After that, they were all assigned to different gates. Izuku got gate E, and Bakugou got gate D. Now they all fist bumped they fist bumped and they basically wished themselves good luck, even though they didn't need it at all. So Izuku, when the gate slightly opened, smashed the door open, which led to the gate completely falling down, and screamed at the students that there was no time to wait if they were heroes. They all followed what Izuku said, and they started destroying robots. Izuku, we go to Izuku. He's absolutely demolishing every single robot he sees. And, he already has 200 points. He has 200 points. And he's just chilling on the roof. So, yeah. Then, after that, we just go to the observation room where the teachers are just, talking and talking. And then Aizawa says, "Hey, Nezu, would you mind zooming in on that kid?" Nezu does, and they just see Izuku chilling on the roof, just sitting there, looking at other participants, destroy robots. Aizawa says to pull out the scoreboard, and Nezu just does, and he's shocked along with every single person in the observation room. He basically says he has 200 points. He even beat All Might's record. Aizawa was smirked and basically told Nezu that the kid was obviously in his class, and Nezu agreed totally. He also told Nezu that he was interested in that blonde kid with explosions. And, they saw that Bakugou had 175 points, which was still above All Might. And he was just chilling too because he knows he had enough points. And Aizawa just told him that the blonde kid was also in his class, and Nezu just agreed immediately. Now, while that, they didn't see All Might shocked or anything, they just see him smile even more. Nezu understood immediately that one of them, All Might must have trained one of them and must have made him a successor. So he just smiled also. Anyways, after some time of waiting, Nezu basically said, "Well, it's time to finally release the 0-pointer, isn't it?" And the others agreed, and Nezu pressed the red button, which made this 0-pointer pop up. Izuku felt vibrations through the ground, and just looked at where the vibrations were coming from. And he basically looked over and just saw the 0-pointer, and he wasn't impressed at all. He really didn't want to fight it because he just didn't feel like it, but then he saw a girl hurt that was asking for help. Izuku just couldn't let a person die, so he projected himself with magma, which kind of surprised every single person there, because they thought that his quirk was like super strength or something. Oh, and also his quirk was like question marks on the board for quirks. Gatsuki was just explosion and super strength. So no one knew really what his quirk was. But yes, Izuku propelled himself with magma. And then when he was in front of the 0-pointer, he erupted into flames, and his fist became magma. And then he screamed, "Magma Hound!" After he said that, um, a hound, or a dog, made of magma came from his fist and melted the zero pointer to nothing but ashes. Every single person in the dictionary exams were baffled, absolutely shocked at what they just saw. What they just was really impressive, and they were just shocked, okay? They couldn't talk anymore. Izuku then looked at the girl and lifted the rubble off of her and said, "Hey there, girl. Are you okay?" And the girl just said, yes, I'm fine. Just that my leg hurts." Izuku then uses his Conqueror's ability to heal others, and he heals her leg. She is surprised and thanks him. She says that her name is S Death. Yes, she said that her name was S Death. Izuku didn't really think anything about it. S Death thought that he was gonna make fun of her name and all, but he didn't give a shit. He basically introduced himself and told her that his name was Izuku Midoriya. And he helped her up, They had a little conversation before Izuku had to go. Yep. Anyways, after that, Izuku encountered Bakugou at the gate, and they walked and walked, and then they had to go their separate ways. And then Izuku finally reaches home. And this is where I'm gonna end this part 1 of What If Deku ate the magma fruit. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna post part 2 tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow should be good. Yep. Anyways, peace out and goodbye. Thank you all for 89 subscribers. We're close to 100. Like I said, One Piece game giveaway. Sorry, I can't do Robux giveaway. My bad, bro. You gotta, of course, subscribe to the channel, obviously. And just drop your Robux username. So yeah. Anyways, peace out and goodbye. Bye-bye.